Baby, 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 from the day I saw you, I really, really wanted to catch your eye.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Bella's Beauty. If you guys are interested to see how we get this DIY wig, I did this all by myself and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. So if you're interested to see how we make this from start to finish, just keep watching. I'll show you everything.
It's getting kind of crazy, 'cause you are taking over my...
So first, I went ahead and sewed my closure onto the wig cap. This cap is just an elastic cap from the beauty supply store. I think it was like $2 or $3. And I put it on this styrofoam head. I used the one with a more like circular head in the back because my head is big, so I need kind of that extra space. When I use my more narrow ones, my wigs come out small. So I'm just kind of scooping this needle underneath the closure, and I'm going to tie it off on the ends to secure it. So next, I just went ahead and laid all my bundles down on the floor. They did get kind of confused after I dyed them and everything, just because I got them mixed up. But this hair was some Brazilian body wave hair from FDX hair on Amazon, and this is how the hair looked before I processed it. I just dyed it with this Adore hair color, and that's how they looked. So pretty, but I did blow dry them all straight. That's what the way they look. So I'm just ordering them from longest to shortest so that I don't get them all mixed up when I try to sew them onto the cap. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So what I do, I take these little ballpoint stick pins. I got these from, I don't know, probably like Dollar Tree or something, or Walmart. But anyways, you can use T-pins. It doesn't matter. They all do the same thing. So I'm just going to use the pins to secure the weft onto the cap. So when I first start, I'm going to double weft the tracks because my last wig that I made, I did double weft, but I had 4 bundles, and I realized after I made the whole wig that I probably should have single wefted them, but it's okay because we all learn from our mistakes. So I'm going to start off double wefting. I'm going to secure the ends with a ballpoint pin, and then I'm going to go ahead and start with my sewing. So for this part, you want to make sure that the needle and thread go all the way through. I don't know what was going on when I tried to sew this the first time, but it just was not working. There's many methods that people use to do this, but I just go ahead and secure it with that one knot at the, or 2 knots at the end, and then just do single knots throughout the rest. So I'm tucking the needle underneath both tracks, and then wrapping the thread around one time and then pulling it through to make a single straight line on the top with knots every time I go underneath the weft. And if that doesn't make any sense, just watch the video. I don't know how else to explain it.
Oh, baby, 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 it's getting kind of crazy, 'cause you are taking over my mind, and it feels like... And it feels like... And it feels like...
Alright, so now I just switched. I'm going now from the right to the left, and a lot of people, I know if they're comfortable doing it one way, they'll just cut the track on the end. Like I said, I should have just single wefted these, but to save time, it took me maybe 2 hours to make this wig, just because I did keep the tracks double wefted, and then I just flipped them over each other. So for me, going from the left to the right is easier, but Coming the other way is just difficult because I'm not left-handed. But anyways, I'm using my same technique. I just go under one time, wrap the thread around the needle, and then pull it through to make the stitch make a line at the top of the track. So as I get closer to the top, I realize now that I should have single wefted, and you guys are going to see in 2 seconds how I just split the track in half to create some more space within this hair, because like I said, the last time I made one of these, I did have 4 bundles. And if you guys see strings and stuff like this in your tracks, that means they use filler hair in these bundles, and I left it alone for the sake of this part right here, but I think I do eventually just take it out because it's gonna irk my soul if I let it stay in there. So just pull these out. It's also a good idea to have multiple needle and thread just ready to go, because if not, you'll have to start all over. On this video, I only had 2 needle and thread kind of combinations ready to go, but if I had like 4 or 5, I think it would have taken me a lot shorter time to do this. You also don't want to make your thread super long because then it'll get tangled like mine just did. So with this part, I also wish that I would have taken my next track all the way to the bottom. But like I said, I did have to take hair from the back because I didn't have a lot of hair. So next time I'll definitely make sure that I'm planning out where I'm going to put my tracks before I sew the hair on the head. But you guys get the picture. So as we got to the top, I did single weft the tracks just to kind of give us a little bit of wiggle room, because I literally had 1 bundle left and I had, well, less than a bundle. I had to do all of this. So I just split the tracks and I spaced them out a little bit more, not so much so that you can see the cap in between the tracks, but I spaced them out a little bit more than I did for the bottom tracks. And at the end, I did end up splitting one of the ones on the very bottom and putting it at the top just to fill the space. I feel like it's also better if you single weft them at the top so that the hair lays flatter. But I don't do this. I don't do hair, so this is just me talking. I don't know. I finally made it to the top. I'm just doing the same procedure that I did this whole entire video, and I'm just going stitch by stitch. After this, I just cut off all the excess string and remove the needle and thread from the styrofoam head. Alright, so now we're going to cut off the excess cap. So I just flip the wig inside out and I just remove the part that is attached to the closure. So you want to be very careful with this and making sure that you don't cut the stitches off the front, not the frontal, the closure. So I just put it on the wig head or whatever, and so I'm just very tediously cutting like a little U in the front of the wig. And the easiest way to do this is just to follow the stitches and just cut next to them. And we already bleached our knots and everything. Mine is spotted because I stupidly dyed my frontal, I keep calling it frontal, my closure. So now it's all pink. So now it's time to style this thing. So I'm going to put my wig back on my styrofoam head and I'm just going to comb everything down and around. I'm going to get a little bit of my Nairobi foam and I'm just going to brush all the hair down into the back and down into the sides the way that they are supposed to go. Now I'm going to grab some tweezers and I'm going to just tweeze out any of the extra hairs that are not supposed to be there in the middle of the part. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I mean, I just wanted that perfected look. So I'm gonna make sure the part is completely straight and just kind of pluck out any excess knots that may or may not be there. So now I'm just grabbing my flat iron to put some curls in here. I part it in about an inch to an inch and a half sections, and I'm just flat ironing it, or I'm curling it with my flat iron. I also use my Silk Infusion serum to kind of give the hair some life and some volume. I also use the Infra spray from Chi to give the hair some type of bounce. I did this to the entire head, but ended up just going back over each curl, and then I curled the front with some flexi rods. So. So now I'm very lazily putting my real hair into two long braids, and I'm going to tie them into each other and then apply my wig cap. Okay, now I'm just adjusting my wig cap to make sure you can see just a little bit of my part, and I'm going to place the wig on my head. So after this, we're gonna make sure we take out our flexi rods. I use the orange and the gray ones because they're the biggest ones that I have, but I just wanted that kind of bouncy full look. So it doesn't really matter how you curled your hair yesterday because we're gonna comb them out anyways.
You know Zach, right? Clip street that.
And so now we're going to very carefully cut off the lace from the front. You want to do this in like a zigzaggy motion so that it doesn't look like the lace fronts did in 2010. But yeah, so we want to cut off all the excess lace, and this wig came with baby hairs, but I'm gonna just make my own baby hairs later on. I don't think I showed in this video, but so now I'm just combing out the curls with my kids detangler brush, and it just makes the hair so bouncy, so soft looking. The hair is actually really soft, but I just love the way these curls came out even though we combed them all out. Overall, I really enjoyed this hair. It took to the processing really good. I dyed all of the bundles, including the closure, jet black, and the hair is still very soft and very bouncy. I'm very excited about this hair. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me this week for this tutorial. Again, I am not a professional, but I just wanted to show you guys how I made one of my first wigs. If you guys are interested, make sure you leave me some comments below. But until then, I'll catch you guys next time.
Woman, if you love me, please let me know. Rags on your neck and learn the sets we throw. These are the days of our lives, and I'm sorry to the fans, but the crackers won't play. Fair job.